sit down. Sit down for this one and seriously clear off your desk and just get focused because we have a lot to talk about today. I really don't know where to begin. We have been getting some pretty incredible news. I don't even want to call it news lately, and today I may have topped them all. And we need to talk about that, put a perspective on what's going on, and I need you to focus. I really do. Let's start off with the basics because it's just the most simple thing to do. Today, stocks opened down. The Dow Jones Industrial Average began the day in the red, about 118 points. The closing bell went off about 3 seconds before I started recording this. Stocks weren't even settled out completely yet. The Dow Jones Industrial Average ended the day higher by about 160 points. No. We were higher than that at one point. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up around 240 points a little while ago. Now, what's driving this? And I mean, this is crazy. And if it's true, it's one thing. If it's not true, it's another thing. And also, if it's just not what it seems, which is more than likely what's going on here, it's probably more perverted. And that's what I want to talk about as well. So here's the story, and I mean, it is everywhere. The moment this broke, it got coverage. I mean, I have never seen a story in all the time, and I watch this stuff all day long, overnight. I've never seen a single story move across the networks around the world faster than this one. Because look, if you live here in the United States and you're only looking at the local news, you're missing the bigger picture by a long shot. Understand, the news here is controlled. You have to look outside of our country to try to get a real picture as to what's going on. So the story I'm going to tell you, which you probably know already, seriously, I mean, this thing whipped around the world in about 30 seconds. What am I talking about? Well, again, stocks finished the day lower, managed to recoup those gains relatively quickly, hovered below the flat line for a while, and then all of a sudden, we hear that the United States or the Trump administration is thinking about easing tariffs on China or eliminating tariffs on China, and the stock market went from being slightly negative to up 240 points in the blink of an eye. I mean, obviously you can see how important some kind of a deal is with China. Now, this isn't any deal at all, and whether it's true or not, nobody really knows, but it did have the desired effect. The desired effect: push cash into the stock market, get shorts to cover. My lions, my lionesses, my beautiful cubs that I pet. This is why I've been explaining to you, don't short this market yet. I went over this earlier today. It's not time. We do not have the high ground yet. And we need to clarify this story here. It's either a couple of things. Either number one, President Trump really did back off or has backed down with regard to this China trade war, this economic warfare. Or maybe he got some great concessions that we're about to hear. I don't know, maybe he's going to do a presidential address. Or the story is actually fake and was floated out here to push cash into the stock market. Let me put a perspective on that for you. And I don't like to talk about like sums of money in this market, but most of you know, for almost a month now, I have been long Boeing, long calls on Boeing. That news today made Boeing, boom, I think it was up 1.75% today. Today alone, that put another over $400 in my pocket. I still haven't closed the position. It's not realized gains. So I could lose it tomorrow. But that's what it did. It pushed cash into the stock market. Maybe that's what it was meant to do. Again, never before in history Seriously, never before has a single man, the President of the United States, or a president, been more obsessed with seeing the stock market move higher than this guy. I would not be surprised if this story was floated out deliberately to push cash into the stock market, of course, making CEOs richer, the corporations richer, big pharma richer, all that. That's really what's going on here. I almost don't, look, maybe I'm going to sound like a fool here. I don't want to believe, okay? I don't want to believe, seriously, that this story is real. That maybe the president is backing down here. I don't want to believe it, honestly. Without major concessions here, if he's actually done this, or if this is going to happen, we the people deserve an explanation, don't you think? We've been hearing about this for I don't know how long now. Seems like time immemorial. We got to fix this. We need trade imbalances, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, well, maybe we'll just, maybe we'll back off on the tariffs. And then we'll see if we get concessions. Are you kidding me? Is that how we operate here? Is this the United States of America? I guess it is. Or, again, I want to hear from you. Do you believe this is real? Because if it is, let me say this. The president just made himself look really bad before the world. Again, this went around the globe in a matter of seconds. Or this was a ploy to push cash into the stock market, which then again kind of makes him look bad too, because that's all he's always concerned with. Let's get cash into the stock market, cash into the stock market. I'll tell you something, what this did do today, this move, and maybe it was a calculated move, and the desired effect was simply this. Because of this news today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average officially moved out of correction territory. Was that the play? Is that what is really going on? Either way you want to look at it, it's rigging, it's manipulation, and it's right in our face. And how can any country around the world take us seriously anymore? Whether this is a ploy to do what I just said, push cash into the stock market, or our president is backing down before the world here without any real concessions for us. Do we matter anymore? Or is this just a charade? Is this some kind of a twisted freaking game here that in the end is going to leave the middle class destitute? What do you think? What's going on here? Personally, thus far, since this story came out today, this is how I like to look at things. The silence is freaking deafening. Something so big as this, if our president isn't jumping on top of it, tweeting, the tweeter-in-chief, it's not true, I'm not doing this, we're not backing down here, we're keeping our tariffs going, as a matter of fact, we're going to put more on soon. More on soon. Interesting. That just came out. But seriously, I didn't mean that to come out and call the president a moron, because I know people are going to flip on me. It happens every time. I'm just saying that this seems whatever. Let's just put that over here, okay? Put more tariffs on China. You got it? I know I was talking too quick. But seriously, people, what the freak is going on? Our president deserves to give you and I. He works for us, right? We don't work for him. He ain't no king, okay? It's the truth. So let's see where this goes. I am hoping to hear from the president on this, true or not, okay? And I'm more than certain that you are as well. This is my take right now. I'm going to end this here. I think this was a deliberate ploy to push cash into the stock market today, to push the Dow Jones Industrial Average out of correction territory. Again, maybe I am a fool. Maybe I am a fool, but I do not want to believe that this is true. I do not want to believe it. I don't want to believe that the United States of America, our country here, has gotten to such a point now that we have to play these kinds of games on the world stage. So, Mr. President, if you're listening, Let us know what's going on here. I think we all deserve to know. I believe that no matter what side of the aisle you're on here, and I always tell you, stay right up the middle. I can say with certainty that you believe you're owed an answer here. I know I am. With that said, let's see how this plays out. If you hear anything on this, and again, don't look at the local networks here in the United States. Start to Google things outside of the United States. Better yet, get yourself a VPN and start looking at sites that you're kind of not allowed to go on here, even in the United States. And this really isn't as free a country as it's supposed to be, or we're told it is. Anyway, don't take anything at face value, and try to put this into perspective. And again, I want to hear from you, and I don't want to hear it's fake until you can prove that it's fake. What's your take on it? Was this a ploy to push cash into the stock market because that's the obsession here of the current president? Or is this something else going on here? Are we really going to... Is our president going to now all of a sudden cut back on these tariffs so finally he can get China to make some concessions? China doesn't seem to want to budge here. And we just heard from the freaking trade secretary himself 2 days ago, who completely contradicted the president. He said, nothing. There's nothing being done here. Nothing structural with regard to these trade issues. Anyway, that's it. I will be checking the comments here. I will be reading them. I want to hear from you, whether you're a lion, a lioness, or a little cub. I want to hear from you. See you in the morning.